One of the key things to rendering Musashi is to make sure that you have the right sounds and the right kind of instruments at your disposal to create the authenticity that's required from the piece to make it sound truly Japanese, and then to explore the sonic scape as it's intended. Now, I'm going to play some of these sounds. For instance, the temple chime sounds something like this. In a worst case scenario, if you couldn't actually get an instrument that sounded that way, then you can use a synthesizer like I am right now. Like, for instance, I'm using a Roland XV5080 synthesizer and to produce that temple chime sound. The kabuki sticks, which in the score I suggest you make out of 2 suspended claves, are sounding something like this. There are a variety of gongs in Musashi. Here's your typical tam sound. And as you can tell, that's a very large tam. A Wutan tam. And in this particular sound, which is striking a nipple gong in the center with a large puffy mallet. The cymbal scrapes, which appear on different size cymbals throughout the piece in a stereophonic setting, sounds something like this. And so on. Here's a demonstration of the kind of vocal sounds that should be used in Musashi and all storm works. Again, that particular sound is called Dream Voices, and that comes also off of the Roland XV5080. A lot of chorus sounds that you hear on synthesizers sound with much too much vibrato, and they sound too synthetic, and they don't give you the kind of mix with the rest of the overtone series and the rest of the sonic scape that I'm really exploring in these pieces. This particular sound blends well with the rest of the orchestra. And of course, a great demo of a pad bass. This is, in my mind, the pad bass of choice, also which comes from the Roland XV5080. And I'm not quite sure how that's translating to the small microphone of the camera, but that's a good demonstration. sounds together, just the pad, bass, and the voice sound, you'd see an interesting new mix and color for the band. The harp, of course, is it should not exceed that C. That harp sound also comes from the Roland XV5080. In the score to Musashi, one of the first things that we see is this limited technical explanation which requires this video CDR, and then a seating plan and an illustration of how the percussion is to be stereophonically employed, and then some indication in text about the kind of sounds that you want to have, which were just demonstrated. The Japanese song, these are the actual words of the song in the Chinese poet language, and here's the Japanese syllabic text. This is, alone the hero walks until love finds him. The world sings now, for all is one. This is basically a summation of the piece. And a way to pronunciate these Japanese words is also on this video CDR, and that will be coming up shortly. Here's the actual, this is the Chinese poet text. Here's the Japanese writing, so that it could be done with a variety of situations. You may be fortunate enough to have someone who's Japanese in your ensemble who can actually render this in a style of a Shinto prayer song. These sounds, again, the alto flute playing like quasi shakuhachi, the harp, the shamisen, the biwa, these are instruments which you will obviously, unless you're in Japan, have to synthesize. Let me demonstrate what those sounds are like. I combined the sound of a harp with the sound of a shamisen and an instrument called a New Taiwan, which is sort of like a Japanese biwa sound. And now I'll actually just play this version for you so you can hear what those instruments sound like. The Japanese Shinto prayer song segues immediately into the full version of the piece for Band of the Third Millennium because of its extended orchestration. For those of you who've played this kind of music before, you know that an honoring of the dynamics to an extreme degree, meaning coming from nothing every time these cymbals are used, and then getting an algorithmic kind of crescendo is important to really delivering the piece. Let's move very quickly through this just to see if there's anything which may cause a question mark. Here at 110, the A-B hand claps occur. Now, the band is being split up based on my seating chart. So I've actually taken the band and put it, one half of the band is playing the A part and the other half of the band is playing the B part. And these claps, when you render them, should be played very light and tight to the hand. In other words, there should be no extreme effort to do this kind of thing, because the rhythms will be harder to play. This is designed to be literally light and tight and to really get the dynamic things to happen. Measure 154, the silent clap, is of course a tribute to Zen. You've heard the Zen's question, what is the sound one hand makes as it claps? Well, that's the answer. And actually what happens here is that the band, or the musicians, are told to simply thrust out one hand on that half note. So we hear and the hand goes thrust in the air, and that gives us time to set up measure 155 in the new key and proceeding. These kind of markings here, we go yum, yum, yum. This is really pressed and sort of squeezed. Yum, yum. Exaggerated dynamics again. Always these kind of squeezed sort of sounds, almost more like a jazz kind of an interpretation. So this trumpet would be playing 1, 2, da da da, wadum. That's kind of an idea. Exaggerated dynamics again. It always comes back to the quiet, to the woodwinds, until finally everyone will get a hold of that theme and deliver it in its full glory. These moments of full-out romanticism always come back to this quiet, and that's the thing that has to be controlled, because Musashi, eventually at the end of his life, he gave up one thing for the other. So the Japanese Stoicism becomes Western Romanticism to sort of show the winning out of love over his originally chosen life, which was to follow the way of the sword.
I would like to say hello. My name is Ichiro, and I am privileged to help to translate the Musashi's new musical haiku number 21 called Ai ni Deau Himade. I would like to give you some tips of pronunciation of Japanese. So hopefully this will help you for your great performance. I'm not the expert of the language of Japanese, so what I'm going to show you is quite basic. And start. Oh, in the end, I would like to give you some, take a closer look to the way that my mouth moves, so you can get the idea how I'm supposed to pronounce the Japanese. And I'm not really a good singer, and I'm kind of embarrassed, but maybe I can show you how do I actually sing with this lyrics in the end. So, okay, so let's start off. The first, like to show you how we pronounce the vowels. The word A, E, I, O, U sound. I don't know if this does make sense to you or not, but I'd just like to show you one by one. Let's see, we pronounce this is in order A, I, U, E, O. A, I, U, E, O. And this is how it always should work. And we don't have, basically we don't have any other option to pronounce those vowels. So this is a bit different from the way you pronounce your vowels in the English. So, yeah, maybe you can see my mouth and both. the board also. I'll repeat to you once again. A, I, U, E, O. A, I, U, E, O. Maybe you can second it. In the lyrics, you can find the letter R. Like I wrote here. Hitori, sasurau, ageru, for instance. These are the correct way to express the Japanese letter, but we actually do not have the pronunciation of R. And the way I wrote as R is most likely pronounced as L, la, not R, L. So what I suggest is maybe you can replace these R sounds to L before you actually start the rehearsal. So here is what's going to happen after we replace the R to the L sound. So you, without this notice, you might going to read this as hitori. It's not really close to the Japanese pronunciation. What I have to say actually is hitori. Hitori. You might hear the L sounds here. Sasurau, it's called sasurau. Ageru. So here is that any R sounds you find in the lyrics, please replace this to L. So this is going to give you more precise pronunciation for Japanese. Okay, the third one is quite simple. I read through the lyrics and I only found one place. There is one place it's written as wo. Actually, this combination is pronounced as o. O, o, o. This is, and show me my face, and so I can show my how my mouth move. The first line. 愛に出会う日まで。愛に出会う日まで。I means love. 出会う means to meet. 日 means the day. まで is the time until. So this is the first line shows the until love finds him. Actually, it's written as until the day he or she meets to love. I don't have much to say. It's just make sure you don't pronounce this as hi. No, this is he. I. Yeah, so let's just go through once. 愛に出会う日まで。愛に出会う日まで。Okay. Second line. Okay. 英雄は一人さすらう。英雄は一人さすらう。英雄 is the hero. 一人 is alone. Sasurau is wander, walks around, travels around. That's what it means. The points are those two words I explained a few minutes ago. Those R's need to be replaced with L. So 一人さすらう。一人さすらう。That's how the pronunciations work. This might AU is a bit hard to pronounce as also, especially when you're going to sing. AU, you have to be careful with these vowels. AU, A-U. You don't have to clearly distinct the sound A-U, but it has to be like A-U. A-U. Very hard to explain in a technical way. Let's go. Let's read it again. A-U は一人さすらう。Okay. Third line. 世界は今歌声を上げる。世界は今歌声を上げる。世界 is the world. 今 is now. 歌声 is the voice of the song. 上げる is sing off, sing out loud. Okay, those are the 2 points. This is the wall, but actually it needs to replace to o sound. 歌声を and this is the other point you have to replace with L. 歌声を上げる。歌声を上げる。世界は今歌声を上げる。Well, once you get to know these rules, and it doesn't seem too hard, I suppose. Okay. Finally, the fourth one. すべては一つになったと。すべては一つになったと。すべては一つ。I think this is what most important is pronunciation of TSU つ。一つ、つ、つ、一つ。This may not be the pronunciation you're not really familiar. And なった。This is quite hard, especially when you have to sing. On the music sheet, this なった has become なった. You have to make extension between this first T and second T. This is how it's written in the music sheet. You need to extend this sound, and you have to use this T to cut off the breath right before the next note. Then you pronounce ta sound. So this is how it should work. Na ta, na ta, na ta. You cut off the sound by the tongue and the teeth. Na ta. But on the lyrics, you just pronounce as natta, 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 natta. I'm going to read this straight from the first to the last, so you're going to get more. First, I just read. You can see my mouse. 愛に出会う日まで英雄は一人さすらう世界は今歌声を上げるすべては一つになったと One more time 愛に出会う日まで英雄は一人さすらう世界は今歌声を上げるすべては一つになったと Okay. I forgot my music data. It's stored in my office. So I barely remember how Steve placed this lyrics into the note. I try to memorize this as much as I could, and I can sing it right now. As I said before, I'm not the best singer in the world. At least you can get the idea how this is supposed to be sang. I hope it's going to be a help. Ah 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 ah. So here it goes. I try to sing it slow, so you can see the way my mouth moves. Okay. Okay, here we go. 愛に出会う日まで英雄は一人さすらう世界は今歌声をあげるすべては一つになったと Sounds good. Should I repeat? Okay. Try to make it a little slower. Try. 愛に出会う日まで英雄は一人さすらう世界は今歌声をあげるすべては一つになったと、I like this one. I could sing better.